Hey, YouTube family. Just wanted to stop by for a bit. Um, a topic that I wanted to talk about was being in a profession where it's not the person's passion and they're only doing it because they can make um, really good money from the doing what they do. The problem with this is there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money or anything like that. But when you don't have a passion for something, um, I really don't see people being really good at their jobs when they're doing it just for the money. And that goes with being a doctor, being a nurse, anything as far as healthcare, a police officer, real estate agent, just anything. I mean, I personally would not want a doctor or a nurse touching me that is in the field because of the money that they make. They will suck in bedside manner. And I'm gonna tell you what's going on. My cousin in Arkansas is has prostate cancer, and it's pretty much spread to all over his body. He cannot feed himself. And my aunt ended up calling him. I guess he was getting ready to be fed. He needs somebody to feed him, actually spoon feed him because he cannot feed himself. So the nurse was in the room. She was getting ready to feed him, and I guess she told him that if he picks the phone up, well, if he has to answer the phone, she was gonna she wasn't going to feed him. And I'm like, really? So he said, it's my mother calling. I need to pick up the phone. Now, he could have just picked up the phone for a little bit, told my aunt, I'm getting ready to eat. I'll talk to you later. But this nurse, as she didn't even let him, pick up the phone to tell his mother that, she can call, that he would call back later. She just basically leaves the room and was like, well, I'm not feeding you. And so when he picked up the phone and told my aunt that he was getting ready to be fed, he tried calling the nurse back in the room and she refused to go back in the room. Well, I already told you that if you pick up if you get the phone, I'm not going to feed you. I'm going to leave. And that ticks me off. And I have never, he's a first cousin of mine, on my daddy's side. I've never met him. And he's in Arkansas. I'm in California. But I am so mad right now. I'm so mad. I'm like, she better be glad he is not here in San Diego. His sister ended up calling her up, and she basically was like, well, I don't have to talk to you. Um, he picked up he's on the phone, and I had already told him I wasn't going to feed him. You need to get out the damn field. You, as a matter of fact, you don't need to be working anywhere because you are just you're something else. Like I just can't stand people that get into fields because they need a job, or oh yeah, it's a nursing shortage. I'm gonna go ahead and take up nursing. That doesn't mean that you're gonna be a good nurse. Being passionate, like, about people, wanting to help people, um, having a good bedside manner, being able to sympathize with people is what makes you a good nurse or a good doctor. Um, and there are so many people that are in professions, they just really don't give a damn. You can get you a real estate agent. They just trying to make the money. They gonna try to put you in any old house or whatever, and they're not gonna care about what type of house that you want. They're gonna be frustrated because you're saying no, no, no. You know, not knowing that this might be your forever home, or regardless of the fact you're going to be living there for a while, and they just trying to make money. So or police officer, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't care about the community. We already know what happens when you have rotten police officers on the force. Um, it's tragic, you know. So, they got that power trip. So that's one of the things that bother me. And like I'm in the medical field and I treat my patients like how I would want to be treated. And I've had so many patients tell me, you're so nice, you're so nice. And it's so sad because, I tell them, I'm like, I just treat people how I want to be treated. If you were my mother, or, if you were my father, if you were my sister, my brother, or my friend, or somebody that I love, I want you, when you go to the doctor, I want to make sure you get the best care. And I want you to be, I want you to know that somebody cares about you, and somebody sympathizes, with you, even when the patients don't get their answers, when they have their procedures, they're like, I kind of wish that something was wrong with me. That way I can know why my stomach is hurting. And I always say, oh, I know. I said, don't say that. I said, because you know what? If something's wrong, it's not going to be good. I said, so just go ahead, take these negative results. I said, and there's more tests that can be ran, to see why you're still in pain, or, why you having discomfort. But I said, no, I don't. I said, I understand where you're coming from and I hear you, but I said, no, I said, you don't want to find out it's something bad. And they're like, yeah, you're right. It's like, I just wish that I knew what was going on. I said, well, keep fighting for your health. You are not supposed to not feel good. You're not supposed to be in pain. So keep going to the doctors until they figure out what's going on, you know. But it's sad, I I've actually had to put in a complaint about a nurse one time. She was just when it my son got injured, and she just really didn't seem like she wanted to be at the job. She was just kind of like, wasn't sympathetic towards my son or anything. She was the worst nurse that my child has ever seen. And luckily I work for that healthcare system. So I just had to go about it a professional way. But trust and believe, if I didn't work for that healthcare system, oh, it probably would have been had to be some security coming up out of there. It probably would have to have been some security that would have drugged me out that night. Because when it comes to your children, and your kid is crying and you got somebody that's being impatient, it was hard for me to kind of like hold my tongue, but I did everything that I needed to do. And I actually contacted the CEO of the healthcare and let him know, listen, I'm an employee here. I took my son into the ER. There was this nurse, and I told him exactly, wrote an email, told him everything that had happened. He got back to me, gave me the information of the supervisor over at the emergency room. And the supervisor and the lead, they both contacted me, and I told them what was going on and that she was being nasty not only towards my son, but she was also being nasty towards another patient's daughter. And I said, we're supposed to be showing this experience and stuff, and we're supposed to be like this, but the best healthcare in San Diego. Um, and she did not demonstrate that at all. And I said, and I'm an employee saying that. I said, but that nurse, I said, there was another nurse, and I told him her name. She was so nice. I told him her name. I said, listen, she is the experience right here. I said, this nurse, um, she sympathized with my son. She calmed him down. And I said, she deserves a raise. She deserves recognition. This is who I would want touching myself or my son. I said, not that other nurse. I said, that other nurse shouldn't even be a nurse as far as I'm concerned. I was like, she doesn't care. She doesn't care anything about these patients that are coming up in here. I said, she act like she didn't even really want to be there. I said, but it was like she just needed a paycheck. I said, and that's the worst type of nurse. So I just had to get that off my chest. I know you guys probably have experienced